So how much money has my bar actually lost this low season? You know, I gotta say, it hasn't been great. There's been a lot of speculation around the falling tourism numbers in Thailand and how that affects nightlife as well. And I gotta say, there's some merit to the fact that these bars are really hurting. Hey everyone, Nolan Jax here. If you're new to the channel, I actually own a lady bar up here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Today I'm gonna be going over what exactly happened over this past 4 or 5 months, the low season here in Thailand, how much money the bar lost, what went wrong, what were the biggest mistakes, and what I'm hoping that is gonna change now that the high season is here. Anyways, let's get into the video. Now I've actually just got back to Thailand. I spent the past 4 months in Canada during Thailand's low season, at least most of it. And so I had my manager running the place for me while I was gone. So if you're unfamiliar, Thailand really does have 2 distinct seasons for tourism. During the high season, you're gonna see a ton of foot traffic, a ton of tourists, a ton of new people coming to the country. And then during the low season, that completely changed. You see almost no traffic, not many people at all. Now the low season is really from May until September. So we're just getting into the high season now, just the start of the high season here in October. Now, there's different reasons for why this occurs. I think part of it is due to the weather. During the low season here in Thailand, it rains a lot, it rains continually. And so that obviously does drive away the traffic quite a bit. Now what I'm sharing is just my personal experience. I'm not speculating on what the other bars did. Maybe they did well, I don't really know. I have talked to some other owners in the area who said this is one of the worst low seasons they've seen in a long time. And a lot of people here have lost money over the low season. It's something that you really have to kind of expect, essentially, when you are coming to Thailand and opening a business, especially a business that is so tourism reliant. You are gonna see very distinct seasons when you are making money and when you're not. So anyways, let's get into the numbers. Now, first off, we opened the bar in November, and during those first few months that we were actually open in the high season, we started to make some money. And so we were making around 200,000 to 300,000 baht, not profit, total per month during the high season. But once May came, those numbers dropped quite a bit. You have your bit of a spike just before low season starts in April because you do have Songkran, which is their massive water festival. I actually made a video all about that if you want to check that out. But that is a really popular time for tourists. Bars is kind of hit and miss, but you are going to see a ton of people just come to the country for that festival. But right after that, it completely drops out. So we're going from making, you know, the couple 100,000 baht, 200,000 to 300,000 baht per month in revenue to going in May to making around 90,000. And then it dropped again quite steeply in June and July down to 40,000 per month. So not really making anything at all. The one thing that surprised me though, probably the thing that surprised me the most, was our sales for August and September. That was only down to 25,000 baht roughly each month. So essentially nothing at all. That's not even paying the bills you need to pay. And that gets me to how much our expenses are. Here at Jax Bar, you know, we don't have a ton of staff, we don't have a ton of overhead. So the fixed costs, not including salary or drinks or alcohol or anything like that, but the fixed monthly costs were about 25,000 baht per month. Now that's rent, electricity, Wi-Fi, the main kind of things. There's a couple more, but the main things that you need to just open the bar. So obviously, with only making the 25,000 in a couple months, obviously we're not making any money at all. It was very, very quiet. There was multiple nights when I talked to my manager, because I was back in Canada, I talked to my manager, and we'd have 0 sales in a given night or very, very few. Now that wasn't only us, there was a lot of other bars that were feeling the pinch just as much as we were. You're not really seeing any foot traffic here at all, you know, especially here to the back bars. People were not even coming back this way. So it was completely empty. So with that being said, we ended up losing about 800 to 1,000 bucks USD per month here at the bar. A total of $4,500 lost during those past 5 months. Now granted, that's not good. That's not what I wanted to happen, but it is something that you kind of have to expect with these bars. Yes, some do make money, 100%, but you are gonna be a lot slower during the low season. Again, this is just my bar. I'm not saying all of them like this, but I do know that a lot of the bars were struggling. Now there are a few reasons why we were so slow. First and foremost, obviously the lack of customers. If you don't have customers, you're not gonna make any money, that's a given. In the back here, there would see nobody walking around the area at all. And even in the front, you'd have very few customers. it was raining so much that a lot of people just didn't want to bother either coming to Chiang Mai or coming to Thailand in general, or even going out to the bars when it's pouring outside. And so obviously that's a big challenge with running one of these bars. Staffing became a huge issue once I went back to Canada. It's always been an issue, to be fair, with running the bar. Staff is honestly the hardest part of running one of these bars, but it became a big issue. When I left and went back to Canada, we had 5 girls plus my manager working in the bar. Shortly after I left, 2 of the girls decided to quit working, so we were only left with 3 in the bar. And even those 3, it was really hard to get them to come to work on a consistent basis. You know, I get it, there's no customers, there's nothing to do, so it's not really much incentive for them to come to work. But with nobody in the bar, you're obviously not going to get any money, and you're not going to see continued customers if your bar is empty half the time. You know, one of the things they do in these bars is they have drink requirements. So you need to make, let's say, 2 drinks a night to receive your salary. Most of the bars do that. But during the low season, I got rid of that entirely, saying that if as long as they came to work on time, they'd get their full salary. But even that really wasn't enough to incentivize them to come to work. Now again, I'm not blaming them. I get it. It's not going to be fun to go to a job where there's going to be no customers and you have really no chance of making any good money. And so it was really kind of just an unfortunate situation to be put in. Now that we're getting into the high season, you are starting to see a lot more foot traffic. For instance, I was here Saturday night, the first night back at the bar, and you know, it wasn't busy. I'm not saying it was super busy, but you were starting to see foot traffic, people walking around the area, walking around the complex, and going to the different bars. So there are starting to be some people coming back and spending money again. These bars are very seasonal, and so it is to be expected that you'll have those peaks and valleys. And with that being said, yes, I lost the $4,500 during the whole low season, but it's quite easy to make that back during the high season. High season, these bars can be very, very profitable, and you can make a lot of money as long as you have staff working in the bar. So the number one thing, my goal for the next few weeks, is to try to find more staff to come and work in the bar. You know, 5 or 6 girls I think is a perfect amount for this size of bar. Again, if some girls don't show up one night or there's some issues or whatever, that is a good way to still have some staff in the bar so you can still be making some money. So I'm hoping that I'll get some more staff to be coming to work here shortly, but that is going to be a constant struggle to try to get staff to come to the bar. But now that we're getting back into the high season, I hope things are going to change. But yeah, that's the reality. My bar lost $4,500 this low season. It's not something that people usually like to talk about, but it is the reality of owning a lady bar here in Thailand. These bars are so seasonal, you really have to depend on the high season to make your profits for the full year. But the good news is the high season is here. You're starting to see people. You're starting to see people walking through the area, going to the bars, and buying drinks. And it's only the beginning, so hopefully it's going to get even better. But I'll be documenting everything, the wins, the losses, and what I changed to hopefully make some improvements. So please do stay tuned. If you're interested in Thailand or nightlife in general here in Thailand, but don't really know where to start, I've recently finished an ebook, and the link is in the description below. It's completely free, and it goes over what exactly is a lady bar and how they work. So please check that out. Also, if you want to support the channel, I have some links in the description as well for how you can do so. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.